Good evening and salutations, my Days of Lies fans. One sec, let me just fix this. So let's start with Leo for a minute. So Leo gets the prenup papers and he is pissed. And Craig comes behind him not that long ago and he's like, yo, what are these papers for? I thought that we were good. I thought that you know that I loved you. Like what's going on? And Craig is like, I don't know where this stuff came from. I have no idea. I'm a little kind of confused. Why would you know about this? Wouldn't Justin sit there and by the way, it was Chloe, but wouldn't Justin sit there and give him a heads up since it is his, you know what I'm saying? It is his marriage. Anyway, Chloe comes up and Chloe's like, no, it's my idea. Now at this point, I'm looking at it like, Leo, what's the problem? I mean, what's the difference who gave you the paper? If you're not marrying him for money, then it really shouldn't matter. He gets into this whole little tissy fit about it, and Craig is like, yo, listen, I am sick and tired of everyone coming at me, telling me about you, telling me that you're just here for my money. Let's just prove everyone wrong, get this whole headache over with. You sign the papers, we're good. What's the problem? And I'm sitting there looking like, yeah, what's the problem? Sign damn papers. Um, Again, I think it's a little kind of odd that Chloe was able to slip in something like that on Craig's marriage. But I've kind of realized that when it comes to soap operas and laws and physics, even hmm, let's just not even bother with the little things. That's even though they consider the little things, but I'm like, I'm just not going to really get into a headache about it. So Leo does sign the papers. So let's talk about Ava and Gwen for a minute. The reason why I'm not there putting those two together because it just kind of correlates. So Ava calls Abby to come down to the priest and sit there and talk to her. And she gets down there and she's like, "All right, so what's going on?" And Ava tries to play hardball. Ava tries to get a little bit of information, like, "Hey, listen, I know who hit you and yada yada yada. Why don't you sit there and go to Melinda and tell her?" And at first, Abby's like, "Listen, I'm not gonna sit there and play games. You're gonna tell me who it is first, and then I'll go to her, and then I'll say." And eventually, Avery does sit there and say, well, it was going to hit you behind your head and, got you abducted and everything like that. So she goes to Trent, she goes to Melinda, and Melinda's like, yeah, no deal. Because even with that being said, you're the bigger fish. So Ava's like, all right, cool. I got some more info. I got some more info for Gwen. Um, so she tells a little bit more. Tells a little bit more. Um, Now, at this point, this is the part where it's a little. Mm. So she gives more info about probably Sarah and everything else. Um, and so, with that being said, Abby's like, all right, what else? At this point, it was like, yo, listen, I gave you enough. Um, get the deal, and I'll tell you the rest. And we'll just go from that point. And, seeing how Abby already wants Gwen to pay for the stuff that she did on top of clocking her over the head, he's like, all right, listen, I'll talk to her. Now, with that being said, Ava feels with enough information, she's going to get out of jail. The problem comes in because here's the thing Gwen knows that Ava used her connects to get Kristen out of jail. So, my whole thing is like, you feel that if you roll over on Gwen, one of her only friends, then you'll just go free and nothing to worry about. But did you forget that Gwen actually knows about the dirt that you did also? So what's to stop her from telling on you and you going right back to jail? Now granted, at the end of the day it's gonna be Gwen's word versus hers, but it's not like she doesn't have that information on you to, at the very least, Melinda start looking more into you as far as Kristen, because at the end of the day, Melinda wants Kristen in jail like 5 minutes ago. So I don't like. I get what she's trying to do, but I don't understand how she feels she's gonna be in the clear because of it. So Eric is back, and Nicole and Eric pretty much just kind of catch up about what they've been through. You know, about like what Nicole has been through as far as seeing Rafe and not being with EJ anymore. Um, just really reconnecting for the most part. Now Clyde comes in, and here's the thing: they both didn't know that Clyde was working there. Even Eric, which is kind of surprising because I'm like, bro, you telling me you've been working so far and you didn't notice that Clyde was in the kitchen the entire time while you're doing stuff for your dad? Anyway, he comes out and he surprises both of them. He's like, hey, your dad gave me another chance, yada yada yada. Meanwhile, Nicole's like, oh, he gave you another chance at everything that you did. I'm sitting there looking at Nicole like, are you kidding me? Like, really, really? You're joking, right? And of course, Claude's like, Eric, you do believe in, redemption and second chances, and Eric does. Um, Afterwards, he leaves, and Nicole's like, oh, I can't believe that he would sit there and give him a second chance. And then she catches herself like, Eric, you must sit there and think I'm a hypocrite, right? And I'm like, yes, yes, you are a hypocrite, Nicole. You really are a hypocrite. And of course, Eric was like, no. Listen, I get that you want to be all nice and cordial to her, even after she cheated on you, which is like, you're a bigger man than me. But I mean, come on. Everyone in the audience literally saw Nicole acting like a damn hypocrite. So the fact that Eric was like, no, I don't see you as a hypocrite. Well, then, Eric, what do you see her as then? What do you see her as then? You don't see her as a giant hypocrite. Um, and of course, she also talked about the fact that, um, she slept with Ray behind Ava's back and everything like that. And I'm like, Nicole pisses me off at times. I'm gonna be honest. Nicole pisses me off. I'm gonna be honest. I really didn't care about the scenes with Nancy and Bonnie. Bonnie was not there. I mean, Nancy was not there asking Bonnie for her advice as far as if she should go to the wedding. Now everyone is not there looking at her like, no, you shouldn't. The hell is the matter with you? But Nancy was like, oh, well, he's changed and, we just didn't work out because, not because, he was seeing a younger woman or anything like that, just because of his sexuality. And I was like, after a while, Bonnie was like, listen, you're going to go regardless. So how about we just sit there and give you a date? We get you a date. So they go through, well, let's be honest, they go through Tinder, okay? Swipe left, swipe right. I know that a lot of these different dating apps have that, but come on, let's be honest. Tinder really started that. Tinder really started that whole thing. So they go through it after some pictures and, spicing up her profile. Here's the thing: Nancy's old school. Nancy is old school. And when she's like, "Oh, ready to hook up and stuff like that," Nancy's like, "I'm sorry, what? I'm ready to sit there and read a good book. What the hell are you talking about?" But they do find somebody, and on the other end is Clyde. So that's going to be interesting. Kind of weird. Bonnie has been, sailing for a while, and I'm pretty sure she knows most of the players there. How did she not know it was Clyde? Hmm. So let's talk about Gabby and Gwen. So Gwen runs into Gabby, talks about her double wedding, talks about Leo, and of course, Gabby's like, "Oh, you mean that guy? You mean the guy who I can't stand, who's done a whole bunch of stuff to a whole bunch of people that I care about?" Gwen defends him. Um, Now at this point, they're just kind of talking mostly, and Gabby talks about the fact that she got Ava, behind bars for everything that she's done. Um, Now at this point, Gwen is scared. Gwen is scared like there's no tomorrow. She realizes what Ava said. Ava was like, "Listen, if I go to jail, I'm not getting convicted. I will literally throw you under this bus if they even think about putting me behind jail. So the whole time, Gwen is like, staring into space, wondering about, well, the end of her future at this point. And Gabby's like, yo, you good? What's going on? Now, Gwen must have had some sort of a spider sense or something because she's like, yeah, listen, I got a bunch of things to do and, I gotta get ready to go. She goes to the police station. She wears some sort of Carmen Sandiego disguise. And of course, she's trying to sneak into the interrogation room. And Abby sees her, and Abby's like, Gwen? Like, what are you doing here? I find this whole thing hilarious, especially if you've seen the previews. Now, a really good subscriber by, if I'm butchering her name, I'm sorry, Shakira, sent me the previews towards Days. We all know at this point, Gwen, her lies, all her stuff is coming to an end. I mean, the drugging of Sarah, the fact that she knew that Sarah was on the island, all of that. Okay, this is all the stuff that Ava does tell eventually, that does tell Abby. So all of this stuff is coming to a head. Now, I think we'll probably see this on Friday. I'm assuming you're going to see this on Friday. Maybe Thursday, but I'm guessing Friday. Um, so her number is up. It's been up. It's done. It's a wrap. So at this point, we all know what's coming. It's just, you know, what other storylines they're going to sit there and do along that. Now, before I go, because I feel like that's about it for the most part, but before I go, found out some actually good news. Beyond Salem 2 is going to be coming back sometime in the summer or spring, sometime soon. And they're going to be having, the hell is her name? Hope and Bo. Hope and Bo is supposed to be coming back. I don't know how Bo is supposed to be coming back. I thought he was dead, but Hope is coming back. So I am looking forward towards that. I will be sitting there watching Beyond Salem. I will be sitting there watching Beyond Salem. Because I really did enjoy the first season, even though I kind of got, we know the other shows, it just was a lot. But I did enjoy it for what it offered. I just hope that moving forward with this Beyond Salem, that they don't treat it when you're watching Days like it's an afterthought, like it didn't really matter the stuff that went on over there, you know. Um, Because what I'm saying, if you're gonna have another story in another universe, you can't treat the events that happened on that show like they didn't matter to the beginning show. And when everything was said and done, they barely talked about Beyond Salem. Um, and I know partly because they didn't want to sit there and alienate the people that didn't watch it, but like I feel like if it was important enough to sit there and invest the money, the time, the actors, and all that other stuff, then it should be enough. It should be important enough to really sit there and talk about the events that actually happened. So this way it can matter. I felt like it just really didn't matter if you watched it or not. Like no one talked about it that much. I mean, they're talking about it a little bit now in like sprinkles, but it's like that was kind of a big deal. I don't remember. At least I haven't heard of Days actually getting any sort of spinoff. Hell, even when GH actually had a spinoff, they did talk about the stuff that happened. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. I gotta sit there and say that I love, well, just moving forward in my reviews. I'm still gonna be doing the other two. Um, but like GH is always like GH is a show I grew up with, so that's not gonna change as far as my reviews. Days, I'm loving it. I am so thankful for the people that told me to sit there and watch Days because well, I've been clearly missing a lot, and this show is just it's great. Now, as far as B&B and Y&R. B&B I feel like I can still do, even though I'm not gonna lie, this last week has been testing my patience. B&B I can still do because it's only like 18 minutes. It's only like 18 minutes, and then the review at the most is like maybe 8 or 10 minutes, so I feel like I can still do that. Y&R, I do really enjoy Y&R, but sometimes I feel like it's just kind of a lot. And I feel like I can still do it, just not as much. Especially when work is concerned, like Wednesday will just be hell to sit there and try to do all four. I mean, hell, it might be all hell just sit there and try to do three. Just because I'm getting out at like 6 and then I have to go back to work the next day at 7. So it's a lot. Um, but I'm still going to be doing those, at least Y&R, just not as often. The days and GH, I'm still going to be doing. These are my shows. Um, so that's still going to be going on. Anyway, with that being said, I think that's about it. I do hope that they, moving forward with Eric's storyline, that they really do give him a good storyline. They really do give him a good storyline. Because when I started watching the show, this is at towards the end when Eric was leaving. And I'm gonna be honest, when I first started watching it, Eric was boring as hell. It's like they gave him nothing to do. He was just an afterthought. And I remember him sitting there saying something along the lines of being a backseat in his own story. Um, I don't know exactly what that meant, but I don't know exactly what that meant, but I do understand that he probably had problems with the fact that, well, they didn't really give him much to do. So hopefully if he comes back, oh, by the way, he's still a priest, even though he wasn't, the collar and everything like that. They can give him more stuff to do, especially now that Allie is possessed. So I wonder when they're going to get to that part. I know a lot of people are like, oh man, I can't wait for this possession story to be over. And I get it. I get it. I didn't think it was going to last as long as it did. I enjoyed it for the most part. But I understand people's feelings as far as being like, all right, you're kind of stretching it to a point where it's like, Halloween was fine. Christmas was a little whatever. But the fact that we're still going about this is, well, I get it. Um, anyway, with that being said, I just kind of want to give some announcements and stuff like that. Now, one of the things that a really good subscriber named Herman did, or Herman suggested me, is that I try to double it up. You know, like if I do GH and I do GH and I also do like days or something like that. It's kind of an interesting experiment. It's an interesting experiment, but my issue sometimes, I mean, I can try it and see how it works. It's just when I finish watching the show, all the stuff is still fresh in my mind. So if I watch GH and then I watch B&B, then what my fear is that I'm gonna miss something on either one or the other. And it's one of those things where it's like, you try to do both reviews at the same time and you want it failing at both of them, as opposed if you would have did it separately, then you probably would have kind of succeeded more. But I don't think the problem isn't so much as doing a review on both of them, on one video. It's the watching part. It's the watching part because after a while, trying to watch, it gets so late that I just want it watching on Paramount. It feels like it takes forever, but I don't know. I'm gonna try to work some stuff around and just kind of see where I'm at with it. Anyway, thank you for listening to me ramble for like 4 minutes. And with that being said, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.